Greetings and gratitude, my beloved soul flowers. My name is Chris Omni, affectionately known as the Health Hippie, and I will be your tour guide on this epic adventure of Black joy in green spaces. On this adventure, you will hear from Black women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s as they discuss my three primary research questions. In addition to those questions, you will also hear how they define Black joy for themselves. Now, Soulflowers, I want you to have fun on this adventure, but I also want you to be mindful that Black pain also exists in green spaces. So, to honor the full story, I turn to Nadine Long to share with us her truth. Nadine?
Honestly, I have to tell you, I know you got your line of questioning, but I do have to tell you this.
Yes.
So, a lot of times when I'm out in the open space, I try to get in touch with my ancestors. I try to, like, maybe feel, and for me, walking into the woods initially um, was hard. It was hard.
Tell me
And
more.
yeah, and some of the pictures that I took was because it was hard. So, and I had to switch gears because I had to encourage myself to not go there. So, walking through the woods in the South, immediately I felt like the pain. I felt the pain of my people, my ancestors who were enslaved, running, escaping through the woods. I felt that pain. And I know some of them were children, mothers with babies, running through the woods to escape slavery. It's real. It was the woods that, and then I thought about it, it was the woods that protected them.
Mm.
Thank you for walking with us through that difficult conversation, but it was very necessary to frame the topic of Black joy in green spaces because historically it has not always been a place of joy. So, Nadine, thank you for sharing your truth. Thank you for letting us walk on this path with you. Now we can transition to the topic of Black joy in green spaces. So, if I could take you back to your earliest memory of outdoors, what would that be?
Uh, I think of when like I was really little and it was like a hot summer day and my grandma had like the hose and it was kind of like a little toy thing you put on the hose and it like let the water like sway back and forth and we would like run through the water, play through the water like that. I think that's like probably my earliest moment I can think of.
And do you remember how old you were?
Maybe like 3 or 4.
Oh, okay. So, ooh, nice young baby memory. Okay. Do you like water?
Oh yeah, I love water. I love water. I think that was like the major component to me moving to Florida. Like I want to be closer to the water.
What is it about water for you?
It's just calming, and even with rain too, I really love like the rain and just hearing the waterfall. It's just kind of like peaceful for me, and just like soothing. I don't know.
water in particular?
I've been asking myself that question for a while because, like, I'm a Pisces. I don't know. Like, I've all in the scuba diving, and my mom signed all of us up for swimming classes because I almost drowned twice in one day.
Wait. Can you run that back? You almost drowned twice
In one day, yep.
in one day.
Yep.
Okay.
Because I'm hard-headed. Little young me. I'm getting in the deep end. Don't you hop in that deep end. I hop in immediately. My dad, remember I told you he's got this kid. Like, he had to put it down and, like, in, like, full pants, had to go and, like, pull me up. And, like, he was like, he was, like, there, like, wiping himself off, mad. And, like, here, Dionne. Bloop.
You did it again?
And instantly, I remember it too. I was like 4. It was one of the early memories. We were up in Atlantic City. And my dad was like, "That's it, get your shit." Everybody, I ruined the day for everybody. The next summer, my mom signed us all up for swim lessons. And so, because neither one of my parents could swim. Like, they don't know how to swim.
Oh.
They talk about racism back then, too, and segregated pools and how they weren't able to learn how to swim. So that's why one of the reasons Mom made us learn how to swim.
Okay.
And signed us up. And so she was real happy when I became a scuba diver.
I would imagine so, right?
But I really appreciate these spaces because you get away from the the rat race. That's what we called it.
Okay.
Get away from the rat race, and just kind of breathe the air. So this spaces like this in the ocean, any place where there's water, I feel joy. I love going to the ocean. I love, I'm glad this park has water because the water gives me a sense of, you know, joy, honestly, because I feel closer to God anytime I'm in a place like this.
The ripples are like coming toward me. And it looks like several people moving in my direction. And there's water on the other side. So I can tell that it's moving this way. But it doesn't seem to be as strong on that side as it is over here. Like there's a momentum. There's a momentum in the water that is not a fast momentum, but it's definitely a little more than steady. And it's coming this way, and then it reaches this particular part of the trail, and it's just enough to slow it down before it gets to the other side.
Greetings and gratitude, my beloved soul flowers. You made it through our first round of research questions. And as to not hold you in any suspense, I will reveal the answer to research question number 1. So, what is the relationship between joy, green spaces, and Black women's experiences? Water. Now, water doesn't quite answer the question, but metaphorically speaking, it speaks volumes to what this answer is. Water represents flow. Water represents connection. and to give you a 5th grade science lesson. There are tiny particles in water that connect and move together. Black women, we are those tiny particles. Water is a necessity of life. Black women are necessities for living. But in terms of this particular research question, it is a matter of connecting to one another. That is the relationship. We move together like water. We move with the current, sometimes against the tide. But whatever it is, there is a connection and we move. There is an ability to flow and adapt. And that is the relationship. Within green spaces, nature flows, nature adapts, nature moves through 4 seasons. We too move through various seasons of life. So thank you for being with me for research question number 1. It is now time for us to take a breath break. Will you join me? Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Let's continue.
Black joy is me and my authentic, happy self. Which is, so for me and my authentic, happy self, it's, I'm a Black woman who grew up in a predominantly Jewish neighborhood. So, like, a lot of my hobbies and my interests don't usually align with many Black people. So, like, when I think of, like, my Black joy, like, I like getting in my kayak. I like biking. Usually, these are outdoor things, I guess. Now I'm saying it, I like walking with my dog, coming to this park. So my authentic joy is like me authentically doing the things that I love, which is usually outdoors. Yeah.
Black joy means to me those moments where, and they're fleeting, but those moments you just have to be determined to catch. So it's just those moments, and everybody's finds joy in different ways. But for me, it's different things, but they're only moments. And they don't last very long. That's why you have to be determined. I'm determined to really embrace each and every moment that brings me joy.
But I think for me, it took me a lot for me to even realize my own Black joy, just because of being in white spaces a lot, that like feeling like our Blackness is not good enough sometimes. And I think for me, like Black joy overall is just like being authentic in yourself and being who you are, no matter what those circumstances are. I don't know. I think it's just being who you are authentically, outward, the weird Black girl, the crazy Black girl, like just being who you are and embracing that.
Sun is true witness. The sun is always present. The sun is omnipresent. I am Omni. I am the sun. I have a light in me that shines. I see the light that shines in others. Some good shit.
Hey there, my beloved soul flowers. It's me, Chris Omni, once again, but I'm sure you already knew that based upon the voice. But before we get into this answer, I need to change my voice because what you've been hearing so far has been periods of my authentic self. But in this moment, my head hurts, my heart hurts because I've been crying. My dog is dying from cancer. And if any of you know about pet ownership, you know that a pet is merely a four-legged member of the family. So I need to switch my voice to not just coincide with the answer to this question, but to be true to how I'm feeling right now. So is that okay with you, beloved soul flowers? Thank you. I hope you said yes. So to eliminate the suspense, as we did with the first research question, I present you with one simple answer followed by two bonus answers. Black joy shows up as a form of individual and collective authenticity. Secondly, Black joy shows up as compassion. And thirdly, Black joy shows up as spirituality, a spiritual connection that you could say is almost like compassion. And what I love about this first answer is that it directly communicates with and confirms one of the three principles of the Kujima theory of collective self-motivation. Don't feel like you missed out on anything. All that is right there in the dissertation on page 36. But the first principle in the Kujima theory of collective self-motivation is Kujichagulia, which means self-determination. So all of us were determined to show up as our individual, authentic selves. That made it easy for all of us when we came together. And the funny part of this experience was that two of the researchers even used the exact word in the response. And through this finding, we learned that Black joy is bigger than a regular type of joy. Black joy is an open and accepting space of collective self-expression and definitely love. The second discovery happened off camera, and that was that Black joy showed up as compassion. When Black women commune with Mother Earth, we are centering what is important to us. That means we're pausing the demands of the day to be present in nature. And for Gerri, she paused her final dissertation edits to be a part of this experience. For Tanisha, she paused her graduate school projects so that I can finish this final research project. And for Nadine, she paused helping her elderly mother move back into her home just so she could be a part of this experience that she had to drive an hour to get to. So when Black women regularly commune with nature, we also show up in other spaces as our authentic self, our whole selves, because we took the necessary time to be with self. And the last discovery is not echoed throughout all of the answers, but there's a frequency to it. There's a spiritual connection when Black women show up in green spaces, when we commune with Mother Earth. As Nadine called it, God's cradle. So those are the responses that I leave you with. And I don't know about you, but I need this breath break. Will you join me? Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Let's continue.
skinny tree, and that kind of was kind of similar to that tree. And I just thought about how we often think of trees having to be these big, tall, and like full of branches to be the ones that support or give the most abundance to us. So I always just thought about like, but this tree could also give something to somebody as well. Like this could give something to the children. This could give something to little people. Like I don't know. Like I just thought it like stood out to me just because we always feel like the trees have to be strong or like just like among us to be like that huge support. I see a lot of even with that tree and the tree that I picked before, I feel like a lot of things, even coming from my own family, I'm the smallest in my family. A lot of my family is big bone or like thick in that aspect. And so different aspects of even with that aspect, I feel like a lot of people oversee me or over try to like push me to the side just because I am not the most like one to be seen in the group or like dominant one in the group.
And tell me about what you received when looking at that tree.
I feel like I wanted to give it love. Like I feel like this tree is just by itself and kind of like in its own way doing its own thing and like kind of like I guess establishing its own identity, going back to those aspects too. And I feel like I just wanted to like hug that tree, like you are loved, girl. You know you're the best tree out here too. And so like no matter like that you're not the biggest tree out here, like you still have some qualities that you can give to other people, not only to myself.
It made the top 5?
Heck yeah, it did. It was awesome. It was like a whole conversation around it. Like it made the title of the walk.
Oh, okay. So you're
Yeah.
saving that for the very end.
Oh, well, I think that these are just in order of the pictures that I took them in.
Okay.
So I don't, yeah, it's not in they're just in chrono order. They're not in like a number one. Ooh, I could put them in that order if you want me to.
We're going to talk about that at the end.
Okay.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So hold on to that nugget. But you said it was the whole title of the walk.
Yeah.
So
the title, when in the questions it said, if you feel being creative, name the title of the walk.
Yeah. What'd you call it?
Something like name your pussy.
Yes.
Something like that. Something like that.
Yes. All right. So the title of your walk is Name Your Pussy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this one makes the top 5.
Yeah, it was great.
Talk to me about this photo.
Okay, so this photo came later on in the walk, you know, number 4 or 5. And earlier we had just been talking about all these women things and saying, man, it's such a stigma. And it was just like an affirmation of like, yeah, y'all, you're right. You do need to be talking about it. It was just right there in the middle of the trail. And I remember us kind of like, we both like saw it and like both freaking out. And at that point, there were a bunch of folks around us. And they were just like, what are they looking? You know, and it was just like, look in the sea moss. And it was like you said, like other folks like, should we be seeing something here? I don't know. But it just looked like, and I had to look it up because I was like, you know what, Dionne? Like I know, I won't even say most. I know a few names of the different parts of vaginas. I know the vulva, I know the fallopian tubes. I know the labia, the lips on the see, like I don't even know. So it was kind of cool that like in writing about like what this made me think of, I had to look up some anatomy. It's like, what is it? What is it? Oh, okay. How do I spell it? Cool. And yeah, so that's what it just reminded me of, right in the middle of the trail. You can kind of see.
This little plant here just kind of stuck out like like, it was just like, here I am, you know, look at me, you know. And so, and it commanded that, you know, here I am, look at me. And it commanded that. And so I had to take a picture. And because of so that means a lot to me, as a, you know, in a lot of the spaces as a Black woman and as an African American person, in a lot of spaces that we go in, we often feel invisible. And you know, and so in this big wooded green space, here's this, and you see how unique this plant is, right? And how it just kind of stands out. But it's so easy to miss. It you know, even though it stands out, it would be easy to miss unless we appreciate everything, like everything about these, you know, this God's cradle. And so being like this plant that, you know, we could easily be invisible in so many spaces, this plant commanded my attention. Like, look at me, I'm here. Look at me, I'm here. And I was like, I kind of look, I'm like, wow. And then behold the beauty. I look, I'm like, what is that? Wow, that's different. Behold the beauty. And sometimes we just got to stop, you know, and because we'll miss some of the most beautiful things. And so I had to stop and take a picture of that.
This whole journey is about giving myself permission to let being be enough. It's 5:37. I have no other place to be right now. I am here in the now. I'm watching the ripples. I'm watching the lily pads. I'm watching the shoreline. I'm hearing the birds. That was a heavy sigh. And if I was interviewing myself, I would certainly ask, what was that sigh about? The sigh is because it took a while to get here. It took a long ass while to get to this place of just calm, just being. Black joy researcher, scholar, and activist. It took a move halfway across the country during the middle of a pandemic to develop this relationship with Mother Earth. There's water at home. The sun is at home. Trees are at home. But it took me being here in Tallahassee, Florida, to discover this part of my identity, to discover my connection and my love for this, for being, for water, for raw. This is Black Joy.
Soul Flowers. You made it on an epic adventure of Black joy in green spaces throughout the generations. And now we have arrived at research question number 3. And I'm sure you probably think that I'm just going to give you the answer, but I will. But I'm going to leave you in suspense just a little bit longer so that we can lay the foundation for this question. Because it may seem a little bit complicated, but when you break it down to learn about Black joy, and then secondly, to learn through Black joy, it becomes a lot easier to understand. So in order to learn about Black joy, you need to understand what it means to us individually. For Gerri, Black joy is being her authentic, happy self. For TaNica, Black joy is being who you are, no matter what. And for Nadine, Black joy are those moments that you must be determined to catch because they are fleeting. I love that connection to fleeting and joy, especially with what's going on with Rico. It was a very timely response that also ties in to my answer, and so do the other two, because my answer is a poetic explanation that was shared on a TED Talk on the FSU TEDx stage. So Black joy is a statement. Black joy is a stride. Black joy is permission. Black joy is pride. Black joy is a form of resistance. Black joy is a form of rest. Black joy is anything and everything you need it to be, because truly, Black joy is the best. And if you kind of heard those overlaps, that pillar 4 of pride and that pillar 3 of permission echoes throughout all of our answers. So now that you have a better understanding of what Black joy means to us individually, I will end the suspense and answer the question. Nature becomes a place of learning about Black joy by strategically positioning us, Black women, in a space that society has historically tried to erase us from, whether it be in the form of lives lost due to lynching, or lives misrepresented or absent in media promotions and nature-related research. And secondly, nature becomes a place of learning through Black joy by the nuanced, culturally rich metaphors that we apply to what we see and experience while we are in green spaces. For Nadine, it was a beautiful plant surrounded by massive pine trees that provided a lesson on the power of noticing the little things. For TaNica, it was a skinny tree in a field of grand trees with big branches that this little tree provided the lesson about strength and value is not always determined by size. For Gerri, it was a tree in the middle of the trail with a tiny patch of moss in the center that reminded her of a vagina, which led to the learning of more about the anatomy. For me, unlike everybody else, and you would think that I would also have a picture of trees, but I was surrounded by them when I had this lesson. It was the sun that washed over me as I sat and observed ripples on the lake, the lily pads, the shoreline, and I listened to the birds that taught me to be still, to be in the now, and to let being be enough. And there you have it, soul flowers. Research question number 3 is in the books. Your epic adventure has come to an end, but I refuse to let you go until we have one last collective breath, followed by a bonus. Are you ready? If so, please join me. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth.
Jericho, Jericho, walls come down. Walls come down like Jericho. Walls come down like Jericho. Jericho, Jericho, walls come down.
Jericho, Jericho, walls come down.
Walls come down like Jericho. Walls come down like Jericho. And cut.
I believe we did.
I believe that walls come down like Jericho. Walls come down. I can edit that out, no problem. Edit all this snot out too.
I looked out on the water and I thought about mothers and babies having to cross the waters, and they did. Then I thought about how strong my people had to be. And if they did that, they got through the woods, they crossed the waters and things. Like, hey, whatever we got going on is a cinch. I thought about that. So then I felt pride all over again. I felt like, yeah, we got this. Because I can see them. Yeah, I can see them. I can feel it. And I felt encouraged and I felt pride.